Hey, how's it going? This is Vinny Melkus at Vinny Melkus Fishing. Just coming. It's been a while since I posted anything, so I figured I'd come on here with a video. I got a couple things. First, I want to do a review. If you haven't known, I was in the 2019 U.S. Open, Lake Mead. It's one of the biggest. It is the biggest tournament of the West Coast. It was a great experience. I'll probably do it again. But when I was going there, I was planning on supplementing my spinning rods. I have, if you know me at all, I fish a lot of St. Croix and I have a Loomis. But I wanted something cheap, or I wouldn't say cheap, something cost effective to get another spinning rod on the deck when I went out there. So I came up with, after scouring Sportsman's Warehouse and the internet myself, so I can get something in a timely manner and get something that would do what I needed to do, which was I was going to throw a split shot rig, or perhaps like a light grub. So what I found is the Powell Inferno. So I got that baby right here. If you haven't seen it, of course, I got this little worm on there. The Powell Inferno, and this is the 7-foot light, I believe it is. I know it's a light. Oh, 610. Yeah, 610. I think it was 7 foot or 610. But it's the light with the fast action, and which I prefer rods between 6.8 and 6.10. I like to keep all my rods kind of similar until it gets into like something like flipping or something where you need a little heavier rod. So my spinning rods are very similar. I use a 6.8 to 6.10 medium light. I think I got like one medium. But anyway, I needed this one for split shotting when I got it. And I got this combo, so if you didn't see that, it's also a Daiwa Revos, I believe. Revros. And this is a 2000 series. I usually like smaller reels, and for the price of this reel, it's a damn good reel. I got this whole combo for like $120, which you really can't beat. Now, if you're used to fishing a Legend or a Legend Elite St. Croix or an NRX or IMX Pro or whatever the case may be, this rod's not going to feel that great. But it's not bad for that price. If the average guy needs to get into a decent rod or whatnot, the Inferno's not a bad rod to get into. Maybe you go to that Max Pro, I believe that's what it's called. That was a good rod, but just wasn't fitting in my budget. So I was able to throw this rod a little bit, and you can tell a little bit of difference in the blanks as opposed to the higher end. I mean, this not to say that it lacks quality you're getting what you pay for, and it for like I said, for just a cost-effective rod and reel, this is awesome. It looks good, and it's light. One of the reasons I got it is because of how it felt in my hand, and I paired it up with that reel. The one thing about this reel, this Daiwa reel, I probably would have gone with a larger size, just because I think I wasn't really impressed with how that picked up line went. That's my own fault. I picked the wrong reel, but it balanced nicely, and it gets the job done. So, I mean, I'm still going to fish. I'm keeping this rod. I'm going to use it. But here's some things about it that one of the cool things about it, what I got, it was a selling point, especially with the split shot rig. It's, sometimes when you go to another spot or whatnot and you put your hook in your rod, or you try to, in the little hook keepers, sometimes you have to pull the plastic back, and that wears on it. So when you try to line up your worm on here, let me show you here. So I'm doing this on a different camera than I'm used to, so the picture isn't good. So when you line up your worm, and you want that hook point in there, so it's weedless somewhat. A lot of other rods, even expensive rods, some of my expensive ones, you got to take that down in order to get on the hook keep. Well, this thing has a hook keep that has a little, if you can see it there, it's just a little tiny hook, and I can take that bend of this hook, that wide gap hook, and just put it on there, and I don't affect my rig, which I really like. That's a awesome selling point to me. One of many features that I, besides price point, that I picked this rod. Also, the blank goes all the way through the handle. So I felt like where I'm gripping this, it depends on what rod I have. I grip my rods like this, whether I be drop shotting or like a wacky shaky head or something, or sometimes with this rig I'll put the finger right there. So I feel like I have this finger right here sits on the blank, and I don't know if that's psychological, but I feel like that helps with the sensitivity. Granted, I didn't get much action with this rod. I fished a little bit, but I don't even think I caught a fish on it. But I look forward to it. I'm going to take it to Havasu here in a few months and fish another one bass and see. And I'm anticipating throwing the split shot rig a little bit. Anyway, for the price, the Powell Inferno is not a bad rod whatsoever. Like I said, this is the 610 light, extra fast action. And this is, they tell you what it's for, light dart heading, split shotting, and drop shotting. Which, yeah, if you don't have $300 to go spend on some superb rod or whatnot, take that. You can get a couple of these guys and have them rigged up with some decent reels, which I'm being really impressed with the Daiwa selection now. They have some cost-effective reels that are high quality. Even like on some of my higher end stuff, I fish mainly Shimano Stratics and some. But if a guy can't drop that kind of money, which really I can't. I got these back in the day through sponsorships or whatnot, and so now I'm a budget angler and I'm looking at these type of rods. Anyway, past that review, I think I'm going to actually split this video up. So I'm going to do that review right there, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about the tournament that I was just at, the U.S. Open. So if you'd like to know more about what happened at the U.S. Open and my feelings on it, look at the next video. I was going to open with that, but this one's actually going a little long. I didn't expect to talk that much about that combo. But on the line side, last thing. So what I do with all my spinning rods, and I have done for a long time. So I use braid to a fluorocarbon leader, and with the split shot rig, it's pretty tough. So what I actually did is I took my braid, I spliced it in there, and then I took a little bit of fluorocarbon, spliced that, and then went to where I have a little like Carolina rig, I guess you call it. I call it my split shot rig, because I don't put the split shot on there anymore because it pinches the line. But and it creates a weak point. But I put my little bead and my little, it's a 1/8 ounce tungsten, bullet weight, and then I have a Spro power swivel, one of the smaller sizes. So then I take my fluorocarbon, and then I take my other fluorocarbon leader. This is a little long. I mean, even for me, usually I do 18 inches or so. But anyway, then I did that. But on the fluorocarbon side, on the braid side, I like using the braid. This one's 10-pound test Suffix. I got that because I got a deal. The price is right. Typically, if you look at my other rods, my high-end rods, and I know a lot of the pros and stuff, they run the 10-pound braids, which is fine. It seems to be all right. I feel better, and I like the performance of that Suffix 6-pound braid. Don't ask me why. I don't know if it does have an effect overall, but the green, I'm going to try some yellow maybe, but I use that green because I in my mind, I like to be as natural as possible, even when it comes to that braid. So I've been using the 6-pound with a 7-pound fluorocarbon leader. Maybe you drop down to a 6. I use Sunline, and I've been using InvisX. I've just started getting the InvisX, and I got a free spool at the tournament, so I'm going to try it a little bit more. But I was using it on my bait casters, so I know I'm going off on another thing, but the InvisX is actually really good fluorocarbon from what I've been trying. I use Sunline mainly, and the InvisX, I've been pretty impressed with it. Depending on price point, I might be switching over. I don't know. I just got a free spool of 8-pound, so I might try throwing that a little bit. And then I've been running it out of convenience. I was doing a big bass bash in Missouri, and I went to go respool. I checked my lines, and my Sunline had been on there for a while, and they were just breaking. So I went to go get it, and they were out of it. Of course, there's like 400 something anglers, and they're just beating this Bass Pro Shops up. All they had was InvisX, so that I felt, well, they had other stuff, but I was like, well, the InvisX, I've heard good things. And they had plenty of it in stock, so I grabbed it, and I'm impressed with it. So I'm not beholden to any sponsorship. Even if I was, I'd tell you, what I believe is a good product, even if they don't sponsor me. But for the budget angler, the rod, the reel, and one good thing about braid, okay, I'm tangenting again, but the braid thing, it saves you money. So now I run that braid I have for a while now. But you get that braid, and all you gotta do is cut little pieces off of it and just take care of it, and it lasts for years. Or maybe you should change it once a year, but at least. but it'll last. Mine has lasted me for over a year now, and then I just run, I just buy a spool of whatever sunline and whatnot, and I run the liters off of it, and that lasts me for a while instead of respooling all the time. It's great. Saves me quite a bit of cash when it comes to using premium lines. Anyway, I'm going to cut it now. That's my review on that and a little tangent on some other things. Please subscribe. The more subscriptions I get and the more likes that I get on the videos and more interaction, the better this channel will get. The more fishing I can do, the better cameras and whatnot. I'm not really trying to make money off this. I mean, it'd be great, but I would love to pass on knowledge and communicate with other fishermen in the world. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Peace.